Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. Yesterday I made a video about Chainlink talking about why I believe that it was headed for new all-time highs and why a breakout was going to be coming very soon. So today I wanted to dive in and actually share with you guys some updated Tezos analysis, because Tezos has been one of my ultimate favorite coins, and it has oftentimes produced me some of the most profits out of the rest of the market. I'm expecting Tezos to follow Chainlink quite closely, and because of this we have an amazing opportunity of making a ton of profits along the way. Tezos has been one of my biggest investments ever since 2019, and it's actually one that I've continued to average into my positions and recently did again over the last couple days. We're going to dive in. I'm going to be sharing with you guys Tezos on all time frames. We're going to take a look at the long-term prospect so that you guys know exactly what is happening in this market structure so that we can all profit this thing together. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure that you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. And always remember guys, I have a Discord community and we're so close to hitting my goal of 10,000 members. I would appreciate each and every one of you that would ever go down and actually join the Discord. It's free for anybody that wants to. All you gotta do is click in the description of this video, and there you're gonna find the invitation link to my channel. Now on the Discord server, I also offer my more exclusive content like the video course and signals. So if you're somebody that wants access on how to sign up for my video course and signals, I'm also going to be doing a 20% discount for the next 2 days, so make sure that you guys jump in on that. I won't be doing many discounts, and in fact, prices are actually going to be raising as the bull market progresses. So make sure that you guys jump in on this offer and get that 20% discount today. All you guys got to do is join the Discord, shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you with all of the information needed on how to sign up. If you want to learn more on how to sign up for the video course and signals, stay all the way to the end of this video, and I'm going to dive straight into the details on how to get signed up, the benefits of doing so, and some other thoughts and perspectives with that. Alright guys, thank you all so much for tuning in today, and with all that being said, let's jump right in the video. So to start off this video, I wanted to quickly go into some Bitcoin analysis. I want to talk about Bitcoin really quickly because this is really the driver of value inside the market. Now we're not going to spend much time on this. We're going to dive straight into this Tezos analysis. But really what I wanted to highlight here was the fact that this buyback that we just recently saw has been completely smashed down. So we basically had a big pump and then the sellers brought it all the way back down. So this was just a big bull trap nonetheless. Now we're still trending inside of this triangle pattern, and nonetheless, as long as we're trending inside of this, I'm still going to be bullish. Now, with that being said, guys, I want to talk about this triangle that we saw, and I want to show you guys the similarities and the differences that we're actually seeing here. Keep in mind, guys, this, in my opinion, is an example of an ascending triangle, and this is an example of a descending triangle. Both of these are chart patterns that show the top or the continuation of a trend. In this case, this one showed the top of a trend before we had bearish continuation, and this one we had a bullish and this one we already had bullish uptrending markets, and so this is more or less continuation. Now what I want to talk about was the differences and what you're going to expect to find inside of this chart pattern itself. Now, the way that a descending triangle works is if you have a horizontal support, meaning prices bounce off of this and they don't trend up. It's not like a symmetrical triangle where it trends up like this, and then you have a declining resistance, something like that. That's not really what a descending triangle is. It has a horizontal support and then descending resistance. So we can see the descending resistance up here at the top. We can see the horizontal support here until finally the sellers become too great and then we just crash, right? Now, what's interesting to me is we're actually seeing the exact opposite of this. In this one, we have a horizontal resistance and an ascending support. And so with this one, we had this horizontal support here, this descending resistance, and then we sold lower. This one has the opposite. This has ascending support and it has horizontal resistance, right? Which makes me feel like this is the opposite of this pattern here. I know a lot of people are calling for a top here. I see a lot of people bearish on Twitter right now. And the reason for this is because we're sitting at a very major resistance at this 10.5K mark. This is a very, very major resistance level that we need to clear before we're going to prove that we're actually bullish. And the thing is, guys, we're consolidating just below this. And I noticed that with this little sell-off that we saw here, many people are starting to get bearish and many people are expecting downside. Now, obviously, this makes it look a little bit weaker because we weren't able to buy back and actually come up to retag this resistance. But nonetheless, with the fact that we're consolidating below a resistance, the fact that we have an ascending support channel, makes me much more bullish for this prospect. And so I wanted to cover some Bitcoin analysis real quickly to share with you guys that I'm still leaning to my bullish bias, and I'm going to continue to do so until this ascending support fails. So until about 9K fails, at that point, that's when I'm starting to get a little skeptical. If we can fail below 9K, then that's when I would be looking for a little bit of a bigger sell-off. Now, if we do get a sell-off, I don't want you guys to think that I'm thinking it's going to be super big. I would expect it to be something like this, and then we'd come back down to about 7,800. Approximately right here, and then we would bounce up. That's kind of the point that I would be watching for, and then that would be somewhat of an inverse head and shoulder formation. But nonetheless, I don't think this right shoulder is going to need to come all the way down to 6,400. In fact, I think it's more likely that we'd come to about 78 or this block right here and then bounce. And so that's what I'm watching for Bitcoin. Now guys, let's actually dive into some Tezos analysis, because this is the most important part that I wanted to get to today, because I think that we're seeing a lot of important things playing out. Now, the dollar pair itself is looking a little bit weaker right here. We have this ugly candle wick. This is actually a hanging man pattern, and so this is showing that there's going to be more exhaustion taking place. And so this to me looks like it on the shorter time frame looks a little bit more bearish, but it's actually the Bitcoin pair that looks the best, which we're going to get into first. Now, with this Bitcoin pair, I've gone through and actually labeled two different levels for you guys, because in my opinion, this is the most important thing that we could talk about. Now, even with the dollar pair showing some short-term exhaustion, it's really the Bitcoin pair that I'm trading the most, because obviously we want our investments to outperform Bitcoin. And if they can't outperform Bitcoin, then there's really no point in even investing into those. And so what we're seeing here currently, and let's actually remove this one here, what we're seeing here is a couple different support levels. Now, this one used to be previous resistance, but it's now acting as support. We can see that this has acted as a resistance level here, support level here, here. This has acted as a short-term support level here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance all through here, resistance there. And just recently, we've actually reclaimed this as support, which was why I was leaning to more of a bullish stance. Even with the market showing a little bit of exhaustion, even with the dollar pair looking a little bit weaker right now, I still think that the Bitcoin pair is what is showing the strength and what is continuously making me bullish. Now, when we see this, guys, we could see that this was our major resistance level. We had been held under this basically since July of 2018, and every time we made a reaction to this level, we sold off. And this has been the case every single time until, about the new year, February of 2020, we broke above this, and then we actually reclaimed this as support. And we've had three different attempts of a fall. We've had three different attempts to break lower, and each one of those attempts has failed up to this point. Right now, we're going to have to watch and see what happens with the current price action, but it doesn't look super good for the bears. In my opinion, this is a big support and resistance flip that we just experienced right now, which is why we need to be paying attention to this. As long as we're trending above this, I'm bullish, and I don't see the big reason to be bearish, because what we just saw with Chainlink was roughly the same exact pattern. And what that was this same sort of symmetrical triangle pattern. This was kind of what I've been updating you guys with. And the reason why it's important to talk about it today is because, both of these have been leading the market, and they're both showing roughly the same sort of trajectory here. Chainlink did the same consolidation, more or less just consolidation inside of the symmetrical triangle, and we broke out of that. Whereas today, Tezos itself is just a little bit more behind. We're more at this point here, where we're still kind of at that support level for this triangle consolidation. And so that's kind of what I'm watching out for with Tezos today. I think that we're just a little bit behind as far as the market structure goes compared to Chainlink. And if we take this, let's go and take this bar pattern. We're going to layer it over Tezos today, and we're going to kind of see if we can get an idea of where we're currently sitting at. Because in my opinion, this is pretty much the same chart. So if we overlay Chainlink, we're going to see that these two are pretty correlated, right? The only real difference here was Tezos came back down to retest support, and when that happened with Chainlink impulse. So the only thing we're missing here inside of Tezos today is more or less just this breakout. And that's what I'm going to be watching out for. The fact is, guys, Chainlink continues to lead the market, and we already saw Chainlink break from this exact same consolidation pattern. Obviously, it can differ a little bit, but I think the Tezos is going to do the same thing. We've reclaimed this major resistance level. This was a major resistance level for quite some time, since 2018, July of 2018, so almost 2 years that we've been below this, and we just reclaimed that. In my opinion, that's a big reason to be bullish, And that's why I actually took margin positions on Tezos. I had enough confidence that I was going to do that. Obviously, the dollar pair can continue to show some short-term weakness, but it's the Bitcoin pair that's most important, because at the end of the day, we're always trying to grow our Bitcoin stack. And so, you know, the dollar pair and the Bitcoin pairs can have some variance. Sometimes the Bitcoin pair can uptrend and the dollar pair will go down. And so these are all things that have happened in the past. We haven't seen so much of it happen recently because of the way the markets have been since the bear market, you know, but these are all things that we continue to need to watch for. I know a lot of people that haven't been here to trade these cycles have never really seen a divergence between the dollar and the Bitcoin pairs. Normally, up to this point, they've stayed consistent. When one goes down, the other goes down, and vice versa. But a lot of the times what happened back in 2016, what happened in 2017, was actually where we would get a divergence, where sometimes the dollar pairs would go up and the Bitcoin pairs would go down, and sometimes, you know, vice versa. The Bitcoin pairs would be trending up and the dollar pairs were going down. And right now I think that we could be at another state where we're going to see that. And let's actually go in and take a look at the dollar pair today so that we can kind of get an understanding of what I'm actually watching for. Because even though it's showing some short-term weakness right now, and it very easily looks like we could be getting rejected before we fall a little bit lower, nonetheless, I still think that this is looking pretty solid. Now, we could be in for a fake out right here. That's something to pay attention for. If support holds, you know, this could be a short-term fake out, and that's something that I'm personally going to be watching for. But really, what I wanted to share with you guys is actually just how closely this current consolidation looks to what we saw back in Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin, if we actually come over here, we're going to be taking a look at this chart right now. During Bitcoin, we had this accumulation after we capitulated about 3,200. We get this rounded bottom formation, and then we start breaking out, right? And it was at this point, after we broke out, we ran up to about, you know, 89 to 9,000, and we dropped back down, and we made this short-term little head and shoulder looking thing. And a lot of people were expecting that this was going to be the top before we fell and went lower. And what I'm actually noticing here is just how correlated these two actually are. And if we take both of these consolidations, we're going to see roughly the same thing happening in Tezos today. And I think that we could be in for roughly the same market structure. Now, just like Tezos, we're getting the same sort of head and shoulder looking top where, you know, we just had this major consolidation. You know, we had this impulse coming from COVID panic. And if we zoom in here, we're going to see that we get roughly the same sort of market structure here. You know, we make this short-term high, we sell off, we make another attempt higher, we aren't able to go much higher, and then we sell back down to the primary support. And this is pretty much the exact same thing that actually happened here inside of Tezos not too long ago. Ever since post-corona, you know, this has kind of been the consolidation that we've been seeing here. And that's actually what I'm expecting to play out, as long as support holds. Key emphasis there, guys, as long as support holds, because this is looking pretty weak. In Bitcoin, you know, we did make an attempt to break higher. We sold back down to retest support, and then we went higher again. But this is kind of a big, ugly, bearish engulfing candle, which makes me feel like we could see an even more prolonged sell-off if that is the case. But nonetheless, this is going to be my primary count because, you know, for me, what I've been updating you guys with and how I saw this current consolidation, I saw this as really just a big 1. This was the 3. And then this was the 5, right? And so that was just a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, which completed wave 1. And now from that point, this was all just a big 1 wave. And now we're starting the 3, right? Which is the most important wave because arguably this is the most impulsive that we're going to see. And so that's really what I wanted to share with you guys here, was the fact that we are about to experience a much bigger impulse coming. And for that, I'm not expecting us to actually sell off and have a more prolonged sell-off. I think that, you know, it's less likely that we'll do that because we're entering wave 3. And the wave 3 being the most parabolic of the 3 Elliott waves, I think that it's more likely that that's actually going to be what plays out, because this is just 1, 3, and 5. This is just a 1 impulse wave with an ABC correction back down. We're starting that next major 3-wave impulse that's going to take us into another high above the current one that we saw at about $3.80. And, you know, with seeing the same consolidation that we saw back in Bitcoin, you know, from all the way back here, I think that it's likely that we might see another breakout very similar to that. We need to pay attention to this consolidation that we're seeing because, you know, it's very likely that we could make a rally upwards of about $6 if in fact this plays out. You know, this is just kind of my personal analysis. This is what I'm watching for. Until the market structure has been proven broken, until the bears start pushing us lower, this is going to be the primary that I stick to. Now, let's talk about a bearish scenario here for people that want to see. Really for the bearish scenario, I would just be targeting the 618 correction, because that's really the golden ratio when it comes to Fibonacci, and that's actually what we hit here. We actually rallied and hit just above that 618 level, so the 618 was here. We rallied and hit just above that. Now if we come over here and take a look at our next 618 level, let's draw a horizontal resistance. Let's draw a horizontal line here at that 618. So that's going to take us to about $1.90. And if we drag this all the way over, this is a pretty strong level that I would expect to hold. And really that's where I would watch for a short-term correction if we do get it. Because this, you could count this as kind of a head and shoulder top looking thing if this is going to be the case, which, if we take our target and layer it down here, that shows a target of about, $1.60, but I think it's much more likely that the 618 would be the target, and that would take us to this black line at about $1.88. And this is also pretty strongly our biggest support level that we have, because this has actually been a very strong area of demand up to this point. We can see that up to this point, this has acted as support. It's acted as support here, then it became resistance, 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 and we've managed to actually break above this level. And so watching this chart, I think that we could get a little bit of divergence here. Maybe the dollar pair starts to crash a little bit and we fall back down to about $1.90. This is something that's very possible. Even if that Bitcoin cycle fractal doesn't play out, that is going to be my primary selection, is going to be a correction down to about $1.90, which would take us to about that 618 golden ratio number. And so regardless, guys, it really doesn't change my trading plan at all, whether we get a little bit of a short-term correction that takes us back down a little bit further, or whether we just keep impulsing. Nonetheless, it is going both directions here, because at the end of the day, this is just a big one wave. And this, what we're heading into and what we're actually starting now, is the three wave. And so with that being said, this would be the one of the three. This would be 1. This would be like 3 and then 5. And then we'd get that short-term correction back down. Let's change the waves up a little bit. Get a little A, B, C correction back down. And then from there, we would start the next major impulse in that three wave, because this would be the 1 of the 3, then we get the 3 of the 3, and then 5, right? Something along those lines. That's really what I'm watching out for with this consolidation that we're seeing inside of Tezos. Nonetheless, whether we get a short-term correction or whether we keep impulsing from here, it doesn't change my trading plan. Nonetheless, we're both scenarios actually see us going into new all-time highs and going well past above this $3.95 cycle high. And so I wanted to give you guys some Tezos analysis. I want to talk about this because this has been one of my biggest investments. I really like the idea of Tezos because I can earn money and interest off of staking rewards, which is a no-brainer. I mean, if it's going to continue to lead the market like it has, and it's going to offer me staking rewards, why wouldn't you hold some and have some exposure to it? And so I wanted to make this video to just talk about some things, talk about some perspective. We looked at the Bitcoin chart, why I actually expect it to break out soon, because it's more or less just following Chainlink. I actually added to my margin positions. If we do fail below this trending support, then I'm personally going to be taking a loss. But nonetheless, I still think this looks really good on all levels. I mean, the dollar pair looks a little bit more weak. It looks like we could see another bigger drop if in fact support doesn't hold, but I'd like to see support hold here. It is possible that this could just be a short-term fake out, very similar to kind of what we saw, with the Bitcoin cycle back in the summer. It was about June where we went from about 8K upwards of 14K, and we're getting roughly the same sort of consolidation here. And it makes sense to me that we would see something similar because these altcoins just follow Bitcoin. And so nonetheless, this is what I'm going to be watching out for. This is the bearish scenario where we actually fall to the 618, which takes us to about $1.90. This is my most bearish scenario here. Bullish scenario is that we hold support and then just make another major impulse in the cycle. But you guys now know what I'm expecting on all fronts. You guys know what I'm expecting with Bitcoin. Bearish scenario is we fall back down to about 7,800. Bullish scenario is that this ascending support holds and then we just continue to break up. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Now, for people that want to actually get access to the video course and signals, I'm going to take some time to actually explain what you guys are going to get and the pros of doing so. Now, I'm going to be hosting a 20% discount whether you pay in cash or whether you pay in crypto. Both universally equivalent, and you guys are going to be able to get access for that for a short term. I'm only going to be doing it for 2 days, so if this is something that interests you, if you've been waiting for me to do a sell, now is the opportunity to get in at relatively cheap levels. Now with that being said, guys, I offer the video course and the signals. The video course is 20 educational videos that is going to teach you guys all of the exact strategies that I use to profit inside of crypto. I've paid a lot of money worth of mentorship, a lot of money towards courses, and just my own trial and error from learning the markets, being invested for over 4 years now. And I'm going to be teaching you guys all of the skills that I know inside of this video course. You guys are going to know exactly all of the skills required on how to profit, how to draw trend lines, do Fibonacci, trading plans, risk management. All of those things are taught in here in a really easy to understand format. Now, the signals are an excellent opportunity for you guys to just copy all of the trades that I take. All of the trades I post inside of the Discord to give you an idea of some of them that we just had go into profit. Solana was one of them. This was actually one that we posted signals for, and it's pumping a lot today. So this was a really good trade. We actually entered this one all the way down here. And so currently we're sitting at about 20% profit and looking like a lot more is to be had. So this was one of our examples. The way it actually works is I post an entry, I post an exit point, and then I post a stop loss for you guys on most trades. I don't always post a stop loss depending on what it is. But you guys are going to also be able to copy my long-term portfolio because 80% of my portfolio is invested for the long term. So you guys are actually going to be able to copy that and get a sound profitable setup that's going to be able to make consistent profits over this cycle while also being able to take some of the shorter term trades that I take as well. It's much better to follow somebody that knows what they're doing. And on top of that, I'm also going to be giving you guys a discount today for 20%. So if this is something that interests you guys, I really do recommend getting in here. There's a lot of coins to be profiting off of. There's a lot of them that we're holding that are actually in profit right now, and many more to be added into the signals. So make sure you guys join by clicking in the description of this video. There you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. Once you guys have access and you want access to any of this stuff, shoot me a message or shoot any of the moderators on Discord a message, and we'll be here to help you get started on the right path today. With all that being said, guys, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for the support. It really means so much to me to have such an amazing, positive community uplifting me every single day to do and be the best person I can. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.